Hey everyone, I wanted to do a Flash Powder Factory guide because it's a pretty cool minigame and it's very good agility experience, so I hope a guide would be useful for a lot of you. To get to it, you just go to the Berthorpe Games room and talk to the guy here. You can't have anything in your inventory, no familiars, but you can wear whatever you want. I'll talk more about what's good to wear later. So the basics of the minigame are just follow the arrows. You start out with a blue and yellow arrow, and then once you get to both of those machines and click on them, you'll get red arrows, and you can go to any of the red arrows, and then it just repeats from there. To get more points, you want to have more apparatus, which you start out with 3, and you can see that I have the 3 little things above my head. That shows that I have 3. And you can pickpocket more from other players, they can pickpocket them from you. And the more you have when you make the final object by clicking on the machine that the red arrow points to, the more points you'll get. It's not a huge difference in points, so you shouldn't go out of your way to thieve people, but it does help, so if there are people along the way, yeah, steal their stuff. There are also these things that you can use to charge a funnel. I have one, there's one of the towers right there, the charge towers, and they're not all active at once, but when you find active ones, you should try to use them. And what those do is, when you click on this machine that has the red arrow on it, as long as your score would normally be above 120, it gives you an extra 10% bonus. So that's pretty major, and you can charge up twice. So yeah, here's a machine that lets you charge your funnel. Also, one thing to note for them is it takes a while to do it, so you can get pickpocketed really easily while you're doing it with no repercussions for them because you can't fight back or anything. For navigating through the maze, or through the arena, I guess, I'm not sure what to call it, to get to the different machines, you'll have to click on the little blue buttons by the doors, and they're not always active, but you want to be spam clicking where they are so you can activate them. Another tip that should be useful is to use the mini-map, or actually it's where the world map used to be, but it brings up a little map of the arena. If you use it after you use the blue and yellow arrows, or the machines at them, it will show you where the next A and B machines will show up. So then you can go to the red arrow that's close to them. It'll also show where the charge machines are, so that should be helpful. Another thing is that you do not want your score to go over 500. I don't know who programmed this, but I think they might have been a little bit high because it makes absolutely no sense. You get more points for staying in the minigame for a shorter amount of time. I don't know. The way they explained it, it sounds like a bug, but since they haven't fixed it yet, the best way to play is to leave before you reach 500 points. Because the reward points that you get after you exit the game are based on the score that you have in the minigame, but once they go above 500, you get a lot less per point. So at 500 points in the game, you get a reward of 100 points outside of the game. But if you get like 600 points outside of the game, then, if you get 600 points inside of the game, when you get the reward points outside, it'll only be something like 104 points. So yeah, it's a bit ridiculous for the scoring system. And also another nice thing to do, if you're about to leave, you can just say PP me, just the letters PP, and that lets people know that they can pickpocket you, and that way they can get more apparatus easily. It's just a little nice thing to do. Also, if you stay in the game till there are 4 minutes left on the timer, you'll get an extra 20 points. So if you want to browse forums or something, you can just leave your character there, and it's a nice way to get a few extra points. Okay, in terms of the rewards, you can get this rogue armor, which does exactly the same as the other set that you can buy with the reward points. You get the rogue armor by searching piles of rubble. They don't actually show up for me. I think it's because I already have the full set, but you'll see little piles of rubble around the arena, and you can just search them, and you have a very small chance of getting rogue armor. The factory armor does the same thing as rogue armor inside the minigame, but you just buy it outside the minigame for reward points. It's 12k points for the entire set, which is something like 13 hours. Wearing the full set of either rogue or factory, or just mixing and matching parts, will give you a full set bonus in the minigame, which is equivalent to having an extra one of those charge machines charged. So you get an extra 10% bonus if your score in the game is over 120. In the minigame, the different parts give different bonuses. The helm lets you have a better chance of getting loot when searching through the rubble. The body lets you stay in the game for 2 extra minutes, which is completely useless because there is no advantage to staying in for longer, because you leave before you get 500 points anyway. The gloves help pickpocket. The boots are better for getting over the agility obstacles, and the legs give you extra catalytic powder at the beginning of a game, which is also useless because you don't stay in that long. And then the entire set, if the entire factory set, the rogue set doesn't do this, but if you wear the entire factory set, you have a, I believe it's 10 or 15% chance of making 4-dose potions instead of 3-dose. And you also get the same, when you make unfinished potions, adding an herb to a vial of water, you get the same amount of experience as you would get for cleaning that herb. So it's a nice little bonus. It's not an amazing reward, but it's not bad. And the 3 to 4 dose potion effect does not work on overloads or juju potions, just to keep in mind. And let's see. You can also buy agility or thieving experience from the minigame. The thieving experience isn't worth it, but the agility experience is, I believe, the best in RuneScape. I did a 2-hour test and got roughly 1700 reward points, which comes out to 850 points per hour, which is it's a bit over 80k agility experience. And this was around when I started doing it, when I tested it. So it's not the fastest possible. If you know what you're doing, you can get better. I should also mention that these numbers are with the entire rogue set, so I get that 10% bonus in the game, not 10% bonus reward points at the end. So it would be a little bit slower without the full set. Getting the set would not be worthwhile, I believe, for getting 99 agility, but it would probably be worthwhile for getting 200 mil. Overall, the minigame is pretty good. The rewards aren't bad, nothing overpowered. The agility experience is a little bit fast, and I hope they fix that weird scoring bug so that you get more points for staying in longer. It doesn't make sense the way it is. So yeah, go check it out. Have fun. Get agility experience. Oh yeah. Oh, and tell me if you like the random Phoenix thing here. I ran out of video footage, so I just put in a random clip.